Aaron Tuttle here for Ferguson Roof Systems. For 43 years, Ferguson Roof Systems has been protecting Oklahoma's homes and businesses with quality roofing services. Their goal was to be the most honest and dependable roofing company in the state, all while providing free services such as lifetime labor warranty and annual inspections. Well, mission accomplished with thousands of client testimonials, an A+ Better Business Bureau rating, and a 5-star rating on Google. Look, the weather gives you enough to worry about, so why worry about who to trust with your roof? Call Ferguson Roof Systems today or find out more at fergusonroofsystems.com.
Good evening on a Saturday. It's a little after 9 o'clock, about 9:20. I'm Meteorologist Aaron Tuttle here with you. We've got a lot to talk about. Some of you probably saw that post today with the wind chill values coming up for Valentine's Day. That's from the Canadian model. I use that to kind of get your attention because if you haven't been paying attention, you're going to need to. We've got some really cool stuff coming. Perusing the comments here as we get started. I see there's already some stars being thrown at me. I love those stars. We got Rachel in the house. Shane, he's wanting snow. He just paid me 2,300 stars for snow. Cheryl just sent me some as well. Philip is on a 3-week streak with his. Kim's in the house. Deborah's in the house. So thank you as always. You get the stars at the bottom where you type in your comments. Just hit that little star icon. This is on Facebook only on the main page. You guys on YouTube, you can do the there's like some other function on there, and you can do a super chat, and then we'll just go from there. But I see you guys on YouTube tonight. Hey from Blair, Tammy's in the house, and Euphala's shaking in. I see you, Paul. Deborah's here. Jim, as always, good to see you. Kilgore in the house from Little Axe, and Kale is here. Already talking about one model that had 30 inches of snow. We're going to see if any of those snow models pan out later on the extended outlook. So thanks for joining me. If you haven't had a chance, like and share this video. Tell your friends and family about me. You can actually share it right now, and it'll show up on their feed, and then that'll help spread the word so they can get the latest on what is happening. So Karen, by the way, loved the snow in McAllister today. Reading you guys' chats on YouTube. We're going to get to the rest of the comments here on Facebook and Twitter, Periscope if you have any here a little bit later once I get through the bulk of the forecast, which I'll try to get through as fast as possible. There's just so much to talk about, which is great because a lot of times when I'm not going live is because the weather is just stank, as in boring, as in I got nothing for you. But when it's something like this, my goodness, it's almost too much. Now, I got to start. Honestly, I'm going to have to eat it. My name is Mud tonight. It is Mud. I didn't believe the model output for accumulating snows in eastern Oklahoma. I thought, yeah, some snowflakes mixed in with the rain, but that was pretty much par for the course, especially across the north. So, I went with that, but I said it won't stick. Let me show you what mud looks like. This is what mud looks like. This is from Cavanaugh Hill out there in far east, southeast Oklahoma. And yes, that is a lot of snow. Just stupid amounts of snow. I am so jealous, so envious, and so angry. This is my angry face because that was not supposed to happen. Temperatures were supposed to be a couple degrees too warm for it to really stick. And of course, ground temperatures were warm too. Fine. Be that way, Mother Nature. Now, if you're wondering, where in the world is this place? Well, here's Poto. So I got a Google map up here for you. So if I back out a little bit, here's Fort Smith, Arkansas right here. Tulsa's up here off the top of the map. And this is down here in southeast Oklahoma. This is Poto. It's a little spot. It's just out there west of town on a peak, on a hill, on a valley, and some elevation. So the elevation won out today, a little higher elevations. You got a little bit into the colder air versus down at the surface, and that helped to get that snow accumulation going. So congratulations out there. So thanks Kevin Holcomb for sending that to me. My name is Mud here for the rest of today. Good news is that's only 2.5 hours left. And tomorrow's a new day. Brush your shoulders off, Barrett. Get back in there. All right, so all jokes aside, let's get on with the what's coming our way for the future. I do want to show you the cold air courses through the state. The cold front's really pretty much cleared, but it's out of Oklahoma. Behind it, you're getting these nice north winds coming in. This is Arctic air oozing in. In other words, it's not blowing in with a wind of about 50 miles an hour. It's oozing in. You see dew point values up here into the teens and down here into the 30s. So big difference here, and I'm going to show you what that looks like just up the road and why this is important. This is into Kansas. Dew point value of 0, 2, -4 up in this area. So how you can tell it's Arctic air versus, say, a polar or continental air mass is the dew point values will be into the teens down to below 0. That's the easiest solution. The rest of those air masses contain too much moisture with them to allow those dew point values to get too low. This is a sure sign we've got some Arctic air just to the north, and Arctic air likes to sneak into Oklahoma this time of the year, and it is very difficult to erode or go away, which means tomorrow, those models that we looked at earlier last night, I told you about how they're probably going to bust. They're going to bust, and they're already starting to catch on to that bust and starting to trim back to the colder side. We're going to show you that for your Sunday. So if you were hoping for a warm Sunday, I got news for you. Ain't gonna happen. Now, if we do look at the forecast the current sounding up to our north, these are where they launch the balloons in the atmosphere to take the temperature and dew point profile. This little notch you see here, this is a good indication of the Arctic air mass. So this is a little inversion layer, this little line right there, and so it's about 100 millibars deep, which is typically what those little Arctic fronts look like. So that tells me, again, that's where the Arctic air mass is, and it'll be hard to erode for tomorrow. Let's go to the upper levels of the atmosphere. Take a look at the jet stream pattern. Now, you have to use your imagination, but the winds flow between these isobars, and we're going to go into this fashion. So as the air flows kind of in this world and then back out here to the east. So this is a west to east flow. These little bright colors you see on the map indicate energy or lift in the atmosphere. So we can get storm systems out of that. One just moved by today that produced the rain and snow. That's moving out of here. So the next one in line here, as I keep going through time on into next week, there's some stuff coming in. You see that energy here in the southern plains, wrapping up here on Thursday, moving on by into Thursday and early Friday. That should produce a little bit of precipitation. And then you can see some energy coming in off the northern Rockies. And this guy right here, you see this circular feature? That's the polar vortex, and that is what's driving in this brutally cold air due south into the rest of the country. And you can see the pattern doesn't change, and it stays up there in central Canada. So those folks will be hurting for a while. We're going to get some of that hurt down here. There's another little disturbance that moves through around the 13th and 14th. Now, the timing, of course, on these guys, is critical. And this far out, we're going to have to give it, literally a day window because the models won't be that accurate in this chaotic of a pattern. But here's one on the 15th, a pretty big one that moves on through. And this is just looking at one model. There are, of course, several other models to look at, but the idea here is just to show you the type of pattern that we're in for and what that means. And if you have been watching the last few nights, I'll give you one quick look at how the world looks from our vantage point here. Across the Canada, we got the -30s to -40s underneath all this. As I go through time into next week, you see how that purple shading keeps driving southward across the country. And it's all the way down to Texas, moving its way into Mexico. Those white areas, which is -30s to -40s, is still up around central Canada underneath that polar vortex. This doesn't get any better for a long time. I'm already into Monday the 15th. You see, I really hasn't changed any. It's just Arctic air has gripped the country. This pattern is a cold pattern locked in. Now, eventually, it will subside, and we'll start to rebound here toward the end of the month. There's the 21st. Ooh, little quite push of Arctic air reinsurges back down in here. There went that little brief warm up. And so the rest of, February just looks brutal overall. The way things look right now. Okay, so now let's get into the forecast period as we go through time here around the southern plains. I'm going to include you guys up in southern Kansas and North Texas, kind of give you an idea of what's been going on. We've kind of been focused on Oklahoma the last few nights. But as we head into tonight, you see that cold air continues to move in. So in other words, just watch the leading edge of the blue line, or the blue colors that represents the freezing line here. Let's keep going with time. So here's tomorrow morning, Sunday morning. Now remember, that Arctic air is entrenched. And look here, it tries to erode. The models try to warm it up, but it's in the low to mid-30s here. It's not doing a very good job. As we head into the afternoon period, we're still at 37 degrees. So that's just kind of where it gets cloudy, socked in. We really don't get a chance to mix that air mass out. Therefore, we stay cold. Matter of fact, still below freezing up here in northeast Oklahoma all day on Sunday. Does not improve. Now, this is where we get the reinforcing troops, so to speak, as we head into Monday. Remember how I told you a lot of times the Arctic air will come in faster? And Monday, you didn't have it coming in Oklahoma City until about 6 o'clock. And I said, I could come in 6 hours earlier than that. And actually, models have finally caught on to that. And they're actually coming in late morning. So here's a look at 6 a.m. It's already got the front on the move here from Miami through Tulsa to Stillwater, to Logan County around Guthrie, and then back out west. So not quite here in Oklahoma City metro area yet. That's again about 7 o'clock in the morning, but 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, there it comes, barreling on through. So that's what I'm saying. Monday's not going to be a fun day around the bulk of the state as that cold air continues to pile on in. As we head into Tuesday morning, we're all into the low mid to upper 20s. Now you're thinking, well, that's not that terrible, Aaron. I don't know what the big problem is. I've seen worse, and you're right. You have seen worse, and you will see worse. This is just the first wave. I'm going to put in the wind chill values, kind of give you an idea of how those will stack up. So what it'll feel like to your skin if you're not going to be protected tomorrow. That's what a wind chill value is. It doesn't affect any inanimate objects. It's what it's like to pull evaporation and warmth off layers of the skin. So it gives it a perceived temperature versus an actual air temperature. So it's a comfort index, really, more than best way to describe it. In other words, your comfort will be a lot worse with the wind versus if it's a still wind and you've got 32 degrees in sunshine versus 32 and a 30 mile per hour wind. Huge difference between those two. Okay, so wind chill values in the 20s to low 30s tomorrow. As we head into Monday, with that cold air piling on in, we have wind chill values in the teens behind the front and low 20s. So that's what I'm saying. As long as the wind's going to be kicking up a little bit, it's going to feel worse than the actual air temperature. So there it feels like in the teens and low 20s pretty much all day long. And that continues on with us for Tuesday. All right, so that's the easy part. This is the not a big deal temperature-wise, believe it or not. Now, we'll have some light freezing drizzle, as I talked about, with the passage of that front. So this is looking at the model, and you can barely make this out. You see, let me draw this for you. Right here, you see a little pink spot on the map? That's the best the model's going to do. And what it's indicating is potential for some freezing rain with the passage of that winter Arctic air. And actually, the model's really consistent with that. I'm going to show you what that looks like aloft. Here's a look at the forecast sounding. And what we're looking at is when this red line and green line come together, that's saturation in the atmosphere. So that's several thousand feet up, all the way down to the surface. What that means is it's cloudy, overcast skies. The temperature and the dew point are right neck and neck at each other. And so the forecast sounding calls for freezing rain. So it's very, very light freezing drizzle. The reason why I bring that up is because any elevated surfaces, bridges and overpasses, doesn't take much. Just a little light coating of a glaze of ice can cause some problems. So that's why it's important to keep that in the back of your mind as you're traveling across all the roads all week long. Even though we may not have a big storm system coming in, you got to watch out for little patchy areas of freezing drizzle. All right, back to the map here. Let me show you what happens long term, and we'll look and see what kind of storm systems we have coming our way, potentially. Because they're there, they're in the track. It's just you have to nail them down, and the pattern is chaotic as can be when trying to really see the whites of its eyes. Okay, so let's go with the European first. We'll put this into motion. Let me just stop when I finally see something. So here's a mixture of some rain and sleet in here on the 11th of next week. So that's Thursday morning. Remember, that's that little system I showed you, the upper level energy coming on by. Now that's just one model with the timing associated with it. Now, it really gets nuts Valentine's Day evening with a big winter storm here. Sleet, snow, the whole works that moves through here on the day after Valentine's Day, then clears the state. Now, just for fun, I'm going to see what the snowfall amounts is for that, because somebody was asking about snowfall amounts. What does it show? Well, they're going to be wild swings. I think I saw one image of 26 inches of snow. That's just stupid, obviously. Right now, though, it says 4 inches of snow. Well, that's not bad. It's up to 8, 9 inches up here across southern Kansas and northwestern Oklahoma. It's just one model, just one idea. Late next week, into next weekend. Don't bet the farm. There's a lot's going to happen between now and then. It is going to be a cold pattern, though, so any precipitation we get will be frozen. The rain is going to be over with. It's going to, from here on out, it's got 3 choices: freezing rain, sleet, or snow, and that's it. Okay, so let's go back to the precipitation type. All right, now I'm going to go to the American model. That was the European. We'll do the American, and believe it or not, the American has been kind of leading the track on this Arctic blast and the storm system associated with it, which is odd. It usually does not lead the pack. It's usually dead last. But it's doing pretty good. So on the 11th, though, it doesn't have much of a system for us that comes on by. It's mostly southeast Oklahoma. We'll have to keep an eye on that. The signal's still been there for days, so we do know something's coming. It's just the exact position and how much. It does have like a little quick moving system though on the 12th. The 13th. So the day before Valentine's Day with some snow moving through. And then we got another system on here later on the 15th, so the day after Valentine's Day. And then I believe there was one more, not showing up here, I think in the earlier runs that had another storm system. So it's an active pattern still, and we're just going to have to kind of take it day by day and wait till it settles down to get you the real detailed specifics on what may happen. And there's no point in me showing you snowfall totals for each one of these models because it's just all going to change. So we'll focus on the big story, which will be temperatures for now. Now remember, these temperatures are deadly. In other words, you're outdoors for a long period of time, your pets are outdoors for a long period of time, you factor in the wind that's out there, it's trouble. You have to dress in layers, you're going to have to get warm, your pets won't be able to stay that warm that long, so you're going to have to make do with that. And then of course the lakes and ponds will freeze over, so you got to watch the kids playing on the ice. It'll be too thin to support them. We're going to have some of those problems out there as well. And of course you get pipes bursting. The magic temperature for pipes bursting is around 15 degrees for a prolonged period of time. I think it's 12 or 24 hours. Memory escapes me, COVID and all, but that's another situation we'll have to be dealing with out there across the southern plains. Okay, so let's go through time here. Let's show you how cold things really look to be getting. Now as we head into remember how I told you on Tuesday you're thinking, well, wasn't that bad? Well, here's let's go to Wednesday. We're only in the low 20s for highs. That's cold, brother. That's cold. Now let's go on into Thursday. Teens for highs, the low 20s. It's a little bit colder. Then we're going to go into Friday morning. How about a low of 8 degrees? 5 degrees up in northern Oklahoma. 3 degrees northeast Oklahoma. 0 or below in Kansas. That not cold enough for you? All right, hold on. There's the teens for the rebound on next Friday, the 12th. That's not much rebound if you ask me. Now we're on to Saturday morning. And we've got 2 degrees here in Oklahoma City. 1 degrees up around Enid. It is at 0 in Bartlesville and below freezing across the Kansas border, even in the Texas and Oklahoma panhandle. So if you said that wasn't cold enough for you, there you go. In the rebounding afternoon, 7 degrees, 11 degrees. I mean, we're talking about some brutal stuff, guys. Now on Sunday morning, so this looks like to be one of the coldest periods. This is actual air temperature. This is not the wind chill. This is minus 10 degrees in Stillwater, and in Bartlesville, and in Ponca City. Tulsa minus 4, Oklahoma City minus 8, minus 7. So this is not factoring in the wind. So next weekend is just, I don't know how else to say it. I mean, it's deadly, it's brutal, it's disgusting. It's the coldest of the cold that we usually see down here. Let's see, let's go on into Monday the 15th. Still cold. Here we go. We finally start to rebound a little bit down south of us, but it's still cold in Oklahoma. I still got plenty of single digits. There's some minus numbers on the 16th. I'm going to keep going. When are we going to warm up? Here we go. Some warming up here around the 19th. Oh, look at that. Woohoo! Finally thawing out around the 19th and 20th, and then we get a reinforcing shot of cold air coming in on the 21st, at least brief period. So there will be some change in the weather pattern late in the forecast period after about the next 10 days. Now, we want to factor in the wind chill. Now, I'm only looking at the American model for this. If I were to pull up the Canadian model, it's even worse. In other words, it's even colder. The European model, believe it or not, is the warmest and has been out to lunch so far this entire forecast period. I've actually thrown that model away for the last several days. And until I see it do better, I'm not going to include it in what I like temperature-wise. But regardless, let's take a look at the wind chill values as we head on into next week. So let's go Tuesday. Not bad. Single digits. You're going, Aaron, what's wrong with you? Single digits is horrible. Yeah, it is. Wait till you see what's coming after that, though. So here's Thursday. All right, here's your negative numbers during the day up in the north and northeast Oklahoma. All right, now let's go to Friday. So we've got minus 10, feels like minus 14, minus 14 during the morning hours on Friday. All right. Okay, now we're going to go into close to minus 20 to Kansas on Friday night and Saturday morning. This is on the 13th. This is the day before Valentine's. We're looking at minus 20 here in Oklahoma, or close to it, Saturday morning. And then in the afternoon, this, of course, doesn't get really much better. And on Sunday morning, Valentine's Day itself, how about minus 25, minus 26 here in Oklahoma, minus 29, minus 35 in southeast Kansas. And that's Valentine's Day itself. we never feel like we're ever above freezing here in Oklahoma City. We stay feeling like we're below freezing the whole day, -4 to -8. That cold for degrees Fahrenheit, so well below freezing. Remember, freezing's 32, so I should say below 0. So I get my Celsius and my Fahrenheit and my communication style backwards, because in meteorology we think Celsius all the time. It's so weird. We're not on the metric system except for once we live off the surface. In other words, the ground level, we're Fahrenheit, but everything else in meteorology we think Celsius. So I got to correct myself in my thought process. So I got to say below 0, not below freezing. All right. Anyway, on in the period after that. So there's a 15th, 16th, onward we go, and we finally start to rebound, like I said, toward the end of the period. Okay, so let me see here. Thursday. This is the Canadian model. Remember, we looked at the European for the outcome. This is the ensemble panels of the Canadian and the control. So it's got a little signal here, signal there. One of the panels has a signal here, signal there, signal there. So there are several signals within its 20-member run here. Some stronger, some weaker. So that has not changed. We're just trying to get it nailed down. And then on Valentine's Day evening, here's the new signal here. So again, that first one was on a Thursday to late Thursday. This one's going to be on that Saturday and the Sunday. So there's one signal there. Here's another one down here. Let's see, we've got a couple more. There's one right up in here just off the screen. Here's one here, here. So we'll watch again for that storm system kind of take shape. Now, if we look at the ensemble high resolution short-term members, this is a plot in the scale, not shown here, but the scale here, and if I put a little cursor in there, you might be able to make that out as 0.03. It's 300ths. So in other words, this signal is that freezing drizzle, kind of slightly damp signal all the way into next week. That's what I'm saying. Every day you got to watch for little patches of some ice on the streets, bridges and overpasses. The same type of ensemble look at the global model, same idea. This is all little patterns of just a little bit of light freezing drizzle. Long term, the American model, when it comes to just snow, in the extended outlook into the 11th and 12th, it starts to have several of its members starting to accumulate some snow, and some of them will get pretty high, up around 5-6 inches later in the period, around the 13th onward. So again, that's where the bigger snow signals are showing up. Temperature-wise, long term, you just kind of know what the trend is here by now, but it's gross. I just picked Oklahoma City as an example, going from the 20s to highs in the teens to maybe only highs in the single digits by the time we headed to Valentine's Day itself. Overnight lows getting colder progressively each night till we're, maybe a low of -7 come Sunday morning, and then finally getting above 0, barely, for the next few nights, and then daytime highs finally rebounding as we head toward the February the 20th time frame. So that's a long ways out. Oh my goodness, that was so much to tell you, just like the last few nights. So I thank you for your patience, but hey, if you want to know it all, it takes a minute to kind of get through all that. So I'm going to go through your questions, concerns, comments, hate, love, whatever it may be, here real quick. So Tommy's already ready for spring. He wants to know what the forecast is. Well, it's the opposite of winter. It's much better. We usually get some good spring around here. Sometimes you get your best snowstorms in springs because you have more moisture to work with. If you have any questions on Twitter, Periscope, shoot them here real quick and I'll check them out. Let me check the Patreon page to see if Facebook behaved itself. Last few videos, it did it again here now. Oh, I'm so angry. This is my angry face. Whatever. So on my closed group Facebook page, it's now flagging all these videos as a marketplace ad, which makes no sense. It knows it's a live video, but apparently it doesn't. So the AI has gone bonkers. All right, so I'll go to the main page. So my patrons, if you're wanting to watch on that, you just can't do it. You have to go to the main page, which is fine. But anyway, so let's go pull that up. Get your questions on there. Let's see, mute that, pause that. Now I can only go back a certain amount of questions on this computer. So let's take a look. Who we got? Some side comments with Jody, apparently. Jody gets more love on here than I do, which is totally fine. Let's see. So Quint wants to know about Wichita, Kansas on the 20th and 21st. Well, as you noticed, if you could believe the American model, things will get warm by then, back into the 40s and 50s. So fingers crossed on that, all right? At least for a day or two. Ron says these temps are crazy. Right. Every biting bug in Oklahoma better be dead by February 19th. I hear you. Heidi's loving the cold. She wants it. Erica says gross. I'm with you. Of course, I'm also with Heidi. I'm a devil's advocate. I got split personality disorder. One side of me loves it. The other side of me is not really liking it. Frozen stuff for Dallas. Greg wants to know. Yes. Any of these little systems that come by in the Southern Plains has a chance to bring you guys stuff too, because you're going to be in the Arctic area as well. So it'll be a mixed bag. More likely, you're dealing with more ice and freezing rain than you will get a chance to deal with snow. It's just the way it goes in these types of patterns. Kevin wants slippery stuff down south. Heading to Houston, Valentine's Day. Kimberly, well, at least it'll be warmer down there than it is here in Oklahoma. So you got that going for you. Day, yes, it is weird you're excited about the cold. You just wait and see. As we get into the latter part of the next week, we'll see how still excited you are. It could be. Tracy, do you have the COVID? Right now, tonight I have allergies. I have an allergy attack today. It's been driving me crazy. But I got COVID twice, believe it or not. I got a Cancun COVID, and then I got the Oklahoma COVID back in the fall. And took all the medication that the media and everybody else told you not to take. And I was fine. So it's kind of like a mild flu is what I'd call it. I posted about it on Twitter. I put my whole protocol in there that I use, but it's been buried, of course, in a ton of posts since then. I thought about doing a blog about it, but then people just yell at me for posting medical information, not being a doctor, and be a bunch of haters, and I just don't have time for that. All right, let's see. My daughter and her scout troop are supposed to be camping in Chandler, February. Let's see. Fingers crossed. Idea is we're going to warm up briefly right about that time, so we'll see what happens. It's a long way out there, though. Larry, I'd love you to buy me a beer. I'm glad you appreciate the content. Jeanette, AI ain't so intelligent. I'll say, hey, listen. I had Jody watch The Matrix with me last night. She had no interest in watching The Matrix. That's not her cup of tea. And I said, you just wait and see. Take everything that's going on today that makes no sense whatsoever. Now we're going to watch The Matrix. And it will make perfect sense to you afterwards. Because we all live in the Matrix, I swear. This is all computer simulation gone really bad. Let's see, what else we got? Robin, family lives in Tulsa, so how are we going to introduce? So that's how were introduced to your forecast. Love how you present the weather. But we live in Central Florida. Can you recommend a version of you that you know for Florida? Oh, I wish. There's only one of me, though. Tell you what, one day I may try to cover the entire country, but for right now, I've got my hands full with Oklahoma and surrounding areas. Let's see. But thank you, though, for the compliment. Glad to help. Shane's in the house for snow. He still wants it. He's screaming it. You should be able to get something. Jennifer, what happened to La Nina? Normally we're warm and dry La Ninas. Okay, so this is great. This is what you need to know about La Ninas and El Nino. Garbage. Did you hear that? Garbage. So here's the deal. It is a factor. It's a variable. The problem is, in meteorology, you have to weight the variable. In other words, you put a lot of weight on it or just a little bit of weight on it. We're in the process of we're just learning about it over the last decade, so we're putting a lot of weight on it. We should be putting less weight on it. Even though it's a driver, it's not a huge driver when you factor in other things that we don't know about and then things we don't put enough weight on. So when you see these long-range forecasts and they throw out La Nina and El Nino, grain of salt. That's all I can tell you. What kind of precipitation do you expect around Tulsa? The good kind. Winter kind. I hate the cold, but I'm sure glad if it kills off some of the annoying insects. Listen to me, Kyle. I have a gnat problem. I'm about as angry with gnats as I am with Facebook right now. So, I think they were in the soil that we bought at Lowe's, like a big bag of it. And they were just hibernating in there with eggs, and we started watering, brought them into warmer temperatures, and think they hatched. That's just my guess. I don't know how they can live in those bugs in that soil for that long and not, be hatched already. But now they're in the house and they're like multiplying like rabbits. And I'm putting down those little things of water and I'm smash as many as I can when I catch them flying in my face. And I'm just irritated. You can ask Jody. I put one of them outside in the garage. I was so angry. I said, I've had enough of this. So I don't know what the solution is for gnats. It's like once they infect you, you're infected. It's nuts. Jody, have a great night, Aaron. You too. Jen's kicking me out of the house for buying all the stars. Shane. That'll teach you, Shane, to go crazy. But no, thank you for the stars, brother. It's good to see you on here. You got fire ants from Home Depot, Ron. Woo! Man, you don't want that. Peppermint oil. Jeanette, what's that going to do? Is it going to kill them? Spray plants with vinegar water. Listen, Kimberly, I got news for you. I hosed them down with like Raid. I mean, the stuff that's supposed to kill every flying insect known to mankind. They bury in the dirt, and they don't care. I even sprayed it in the dirt. They still don't care. Those things are bulletproof. So get the sticky sheets and put them near the plants. I did that. I put those little. I got glue boards. Listen, we've strayed off the weather topic, by the way. So if you're wanting more weather, we finished that, and now we're off in the tangent world from squirrels. But listen, I was living in apartments about the age of 30, right around that age. A little younger, a little older, but in the plus or minus couple year range before I bought a house, my first house. And I was getting bit by brown recluse spiders. And I'd have these people spray, and it didn't do anything. The pest guy says, look, dude, I come out here and spray every day. It's not going to matter. Brown recluse don't die from the poison spray. They don't clean themselves, so they don't lick their legs or nothing. So they're going to survive, and you're going to get eaten alive. I said, okay. He goes, go get you some glue boards and put them down. I put down glue boards, and one summer caught 38 brown recluse spiders. I quickly moved out of that apartment complex and never came back. But because of that, I put them everywhere I go now, and I've got them in my house. And I'm catching brown recluse in my house, too. But I use those for the gnats, and I did catch several. But the problem is when they multiply, dude, you don't have enough glue boards or poison in the world to take care of these things. And that's why I actually threw away, like, I think it was 4 or 5 plants. I mean, I had it. I mean, I tried everything. But anyway, so that's my little gnat problem, which I never had a gnat problem before. But bringing plants indoors from the winter, that was... Jody likes plants, and so now my plant problem has increased exponentially. I agree, they're pretty. They're nice, but... Oh, I don't know. I got to figure out something. But thanks for the tips, though. Kim's like, put some apple cider vinegar in a mason jar with tiny holes in the lid. Hey, I pour that stuff into open containers and place it around the house, and I'll catch 2 or 3 or 4 a day. But listen, I don't know how they're doing it, but they're multiplying. I don't know how to do it. Oh, I tried changing out the soil too. I tried that route, and then I think I used the same soil that I think was contaminated, but I didn't know it was contaminated at the time. So all I did was recycle some fresh eggs. First world problems, I know. Okay, let me check here real quick on the other comments. If there's anything new on you guys on YouTube. Yeah, Bethany, there was no patron page. I've talked with my software guys to see if we can't figure it out. I think it's an API call problem where Facebook changed the interface on their end, on the back end. And so there's something that's not connecting right when it comes to token sharing and password authorization, that Facebook seems to think that that's a marketplace ad. How, I have no idea. I mean, it's clearly live broadcast, but we'll eventually get it figured out, but it may take a while. So until then, you got YouTube and you got the Facebook main page. It should still alert you on the patron page that I'm going live. It just won't be there. That's my guess, but I'm not sure. You have to tell me. Oh, yeah, so Jody did look it up about microwaving your soil. And I'm like, we need a big microwave. Huge microwave. Greg, I like your idea of flamethrower. Sarah says, bake your dirt in the oven. Honestly, that's not bad. You buy a brand new bag of dirt and just put it in there. But you see how much trouble all this is? Why is it got to be like this? Come on. Yeah, I got better things to do. Yeah, they're always going for water, which is why they nosedive right into my eyeballs. I see your comment. But it's just gnat problems. Okay, so we're finished. Let me look here real quick off screen. Was there any other model data that I wanted to look at that came in fresh, new? GFS did, but it only goes out to 80 hours. But let me see. 80 hours isn't that far, but let me see what it does. You just hang in there real quick. If it's something exciting, I'll tell you. Where are we on Monday? Tuesday. Oh. All right, let me show you. So this is the GFS. This is the American model. This is Monday afternoon at 6 o'clock. It's got the Arctic front through Oklahoma City. Okay. Let me go back 3 hours, and it has it just coming in Oklahoma City around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. There's lunchtime. It's got up in northern Oklahoma. So it's a few hours late compared to the other model we looked at. I buy the timing on the other model, okay, just so you know. So I think this is a little slow, but that's typical for the GFS. So that's not out of the ordinary. But this is what the GFS has just showed me, which I went, oh. Here's Tuesday morning. This guy's at 13 degrees, single digits up north. That's colder than the prior runs. During the day on Tuesday at lunchtime, it has us at 12 degrees in Oklahoma City and holding. So it has Tuesday being stupid, brutal cold. Remember, earlier models had us in those at the low 20s. It's 10 degrees colder than that for Tuesday. All right, and then we head into Wednesday morning. It's down at 8 degrees here in Oklahoma City, and it's right below zero in Kansas this entire period. So there you go. That's the newest, brand new, hot off the presses. This is the wind chill value, by the way. I gotta preference that. That's the wind chill value. Let me look at the actual air temperature. Let me see what that does. So Tuesday back in the low 20s. Okay, so this really isn't anything different. I was looking at the wind chill value there. So otherwise, it's the same. Okay, never mind. False alarm. The wind chill values were impressive, but the air temperature itself was still just about the same. Cold, but not horrific until later in the period. All right, Apollo wants to know any precipitation on Tuesday. Just a little bit of that light, kind of a freezing drizzle mist type deal. That's about it. Gotta sneeze, but hold on. Sneezing tip for you. If you're about to sneeze and you're like, you can't do it, right? Like just now. I mean, I don't want to sneeze on you, right? How do you stop that? You put your finger right here on the tip of your nose, like underneath the tip, and you press like toward your eyes. I mean, you don't have to press very hard, just a little bit, and it'll stop the sneeze. Guaranteed. Try it. Have a contest. See if you can sneeze by doing it. So anyway, I use that a lot when I have to, you know. There's times you just can't sneeze. Listen, I got to get out of here. It's almost 10 o'clock, and we've gone way over, and I got things to do. And we'll do this again tomorrow. I got to write a blog, so I'll look for a fresh blog tomorrow afternoon. And we'll do it live tomorrow evening, and pretty much most evenings, I think, on into next week. And hopefully Facebook will start to notify you, more of you. It's not been doing a very good job last few nights, but we'll see if it gets better with time. All right, you guys have a great night. Thanks again for all the stars, all your support. Using my weather app, all that kind of stuff. And we'll talk soon. Sleep well, everybody. Good night.